Love smarter, not harder. Today's question. Hi, Dr. Karen. I'm a never married 44-year-old. I've always trusted in God's timing, so going through this season is tough. This is the first season when I haven't felt my life was more than I imagined and asked for. I feel like I've been cheated, and I'm not sure how to move forward with joy. I'm experiencing the grief of not having my own kids, to the point that I'm having a hard time seeing other people with theirs. I don't like being in this place because I love kids. During my 20s and 30s, being a teacher was enough to get my fill of being with kids. Now, as I move out of teaching and living abroad, I don't have any littles in my life to kind of fill that. And also, it's different as well when they're not mine. I'm having a hard time seeing a joyful future without a family. I still have hope for a spouse, but the kid thing is really a struggle at this point. Another thing is the compound grief, if that's a thing. Like the grief of not getting married when all your friends did in their 20s, then them having kids, now them celebrating many years of marriage. Grief on top of grief. And I wonder what I'll be like in 5, 10, 15 years. Like, will I become more miserable seeing what I don't have? I'm just really trying to figure out how to turn it around because this isn't like me. Yeah, there's a lot of grief in dealing with the deep desires of our heart that don't materialize. And, you know, from my community, there are many women going through what you're going through. You're not alone. I absolutely resonate with much of what you're sharing here. I know what it's like to think I'm going to be a biological mom. Of course I am. And then to have that not happen, it's deep pain. And there are no easy answers. I want to fix it. I just want to make it better for you, but I can't. And I think the scariest part of what you talk about here is the idea of like, you grieve what didn't happen, and then you feel yourself becoming sad and miserable. And like you said at the end, this isn't like me. And then you go, okay, first I'm grieving that I don't have children and a family and a husband. And then I'm becoming miserable. And what if I become bitter? And then I'll be grieving that I've lost myself because I'm not a bitter person and I'm a joyful person. It gets a little scary that you will not only not have these things, which you're grieving the loss of things you never had but thought you'd have. And then also the potential loss of who you are. And that's terrifying. I will say I don't see you doing that because you trust in God and you talk about being a joyful person. And I don't believe that this pain is going to rob you of you, but it will take some work. It will take being intentionally grateful for what is good in your life. It will be intentionally mindful of how to control what you can control, which right now a lot feels out of your control because it is. It is. I would recommend you look to some of the women who are going through this currently so that you can have a support for and validation for what you're going through. And also for those who've navigated this, Melanie Notkin comes to mind. She's the author of Otherhood. She's in her early 50s and deeply wanted children, always assumed she would be a mother. And she's in her early 50s, like I said, not married and no babies. And her brand is called Savvy Auntie. She has taken that enthusiasm for children and put it into the aunt life. And as you say, it's not the same. I mean, I'm not going to pretend it's the same. I'm an aunt and I'm madly in love with my nieces and nephews, but I know it's not the same as if I had my own babies. It's just not. But we do what we can to take that energy that we wanted to give to being a mother and we put it in mothering, so to speak, which is, of course, why she calls her book Otherhood. And she appeared in my podcast in episode 99. And I hope that could be helpful for you as well. These are just big issues. This is a hard question for me to address because it's something, like I said, that I feel myself. And yeah, it's hard to even answer in a little video because it's profound. It's big, big, big stuff. And like you said, compound grief. But I think I think your fear of who you'll be in 15 years, the person that I'm reading here is someone who is seeking and looking for hope. And really the effort to continue to pursue joy and to pursue hope, that is really all you need. It's the people who don't pursue hope and pursue joy and recoil into bitterness and anger that I think are the ones that are going to be miserable 5, 10, 15 years down the line. I don't think you will be. I don't have easy answers for this, but I think asking the question and the fact that you are trying to make sense of this deep pain and this deep loss and trying to figure out what to do with it, I think that in and of itself shows me that you will always be seeking joy and trying to find the good and what to be grateful for in life. And I believe that will be what will help you navigate this pain.